Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the event safety and information video for this coming weekend's Raffertys Coastal Run. Really looking forward to welcoming you all to Raffertys Resort and the shores of Lake Macquarie for this excellent event. Before we get started, I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land upon which we will be meeting and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. A big thank you right at the start here to acknowledge the naming rights sponsor of the event, Raffertys Resort itself. They allow us to come along and put on this event every year, and we really appreciate their support. Also, our other event sponsors and supporters, Lake Macquarie City Council, Tailwind, Careflight, Tarkin, the residents of Raffertys Resort and of Murray's Beach, and all the event volunteers who you'll see out on course on Saturday wearing their red volunteer shirts. They're giving up their day to help you run the event, so make sure you give them a big thank you when you see them out there. The main thing I want to go over in this video though is safety, unsurprisingly. Firstly, for all event participants, there has been quite a lot of rain over the last month or so. There has thankfully been some few days of sunshine leading in to this weekend, but the trails are going to be quite wet and muddy underfoot, which means they could well be slippery. So take care of your footing out on course. There has been some few tweaks to the course to avoid some of the worst areas and to avoid some a last minute spanner that National Parks decided to throw at us. So the course is a little bit different, only by a few hundred meters or so here or there, just as we avoid some of those areas, but just follow the course markings and you'll be fine. If you've never done the event before, you probably won't even notice what's changed, but for those of you that are very familiar with the area, you will notice there's a couple of sections that have moved slightly based on previous years. Just some last minute things to deal with. So that's just part of the fun of organising a trail running event. So going back to, it is going to be quite wet and slippery underfoot, so watch your footing. Stick to the marked trails. You will be getting wet feet at different points. You will possibly get in muddy at different points. That's part of the challenge of the event. Another really important safety thing for this event is that all courses will either be crossing or for short stretches running alongside roads. None of those roads are closed. They will have traffic travelling along them, and that traffic has right of way, not you. So make sure you give way to any traffic when crossing a road. If you're running alongside a road, stick to the left, stay in single file. There will be a number of spots where there are traffic controllers and or marshals at those locations, so follow the directions of those people. They're going to be looking out for cars and stopping you if needed, so they will back up to you doing the right thing and checking yourself that it's safe to cross any roads you're crossing. It is an event, Raffertys Coastal Run, that is held in winter. However, we do ask that you carry plenty of water. There can be quite a distance between the aid stations on some of the courses. So you need to carry a minimum of 500 ml, but we recommend a lot of you will need quite a bit more than that, as you could be up to an hour in between some of the aid stations. So make sure you take plenty of water with you and really fill up at those aid stations on the course. You don't want to be running short or even worse, running out of water on the course. Also, if you could also watch out for other users on the course. There could be other runners and walkers and everything out there. They have as much right to be on the course as you do, so say hi to them if you see them out there. There could also be some four-wheel drives and trail bikers that get into the national park at the back of Catherine Hill Bay, south of Caves Beach area. It is a persistent problem in this area, so if you do hear them, you'll probably hear them before you see them. Please make sure you stay to the left, give them plenty of space. They could be moving quite fast once they start seeing runners. It'll generally remove the fun of the day for them and they'll move on, but just be aware that there could be those other vehicles in the course area on Saturday morning. So keep an ear out and an eye out for them and give them plenty of space as needed. I also would ask all runners to please show respect to each other out on the course. If you are running along and you can sense that there are runners behind you that want to get past on a narrower section of the trail, please let them pass. If you are behind a slower runner and you would like to get past, please politely ask to get by at the next available spot and they will let you past. With some of the course changes, there will be some short sections where there's going to be two-way traffic. Most of that is on a fire trail, so just stick to the left and you'll have plenty of room to travel each way. If there is any overlap, we haven't, not sure whether the timings will mean there is any overlap at that section, but on the southern section of the 36-kilometre course at the far end of Catherine Hill Bay, as you go across that headland, there's only going to be the run route taken both on the way out and on the way back. It's been a lot of work done to make that trail nice and wide for you, but just be aware of that there could be runners coming the other way. So stay left, give each other plenty of space for a few hundred metres as you cross that headland south of Catherine Hill Bay. The other people we would like you to show respect to are the local residents. They allow us to come along and put on this event every year, so please make sure you park where directed. Don't park where you might be blocking anyone's access, where it's too wet to park or anything like that. So please park where directed. And also, as you're starting your run in the morning, please be wary of the noise level that you're putting out, especially at Murray's Beach. They allow us to go through there. Some of them would much prefer to have a sleep in on a Saturday than get out and run a trail run event, which is fine. But if we can just help that by not talking too loudly or yelling and screaming as we're heading through Murray's Beach, allowing them to have a peaceful morning, and we can come back next year and do it all again. So I mentioned there about parking. So parking for this year, because of the wet weather we've had in the lead up, some of the normal parking areas that we use could well be out of action. That would therefore limit the number of cars we can get into Raffertys Resort for parking itself, which could mean more of you will be out on the surrounding streets, down towards Cairns Wharf boat ramp, and maybe into Murray's Beach as well. So if you do arrive, there's traffic controllers that will be set up within Raffertys Resort on the event morning, making sure that all the available spots are filled. So when you arrive, please follow their directions. Once that then fills up, they'll move back towards the gate of Raffertys Resort and then down Raffertys Road itself, directing you where it's safe to park. So please follow their directions. This could mean for some of you arriving later, for the later starts, especially probably the 12-kilometre, that there could be a little walk to get to the event centre. There is a bag drop service that we offer, so if you do have a bit of a walk from your car to the start and you want to leave some gear with us while you do your run, that's absolutely fine, but just take that into account with your planning and allow a little bit of extra time in case you do have a 5 to 10 minute walk just to get to the event centre. That would be greatly appreciated. The course, as I mentioned, there has been some slight tweaks. You won't notice them when you're out there because the course will be very heavily marked, lots of pink tape, red on white arrows indicating which way to go, and red on white wrong way signs indicating which way not to go. There will also be big split signs out indicating which course should go in which directions at the different spots. Those are also backed up by marshals and staff members at those locations. So follow the directions of those signs and you'll be fine. There'll also be pre-runners heading out on Saturday morning to check the course and remark anything that might have been tampered with overnight, but they'll be there to make sure it's all good to go for when you hit it on Saturday morning. Finally, the start procedures for Saturday. We will be starting to help prevent congestion on course. We will be starting 2 runners every 5 seconds. So that'll be a self-seated start. So just line up in accordance with your goal time. We'll have some signs up in the start area indicating where you should sort of line up based on your goal time for each of the different distances. It will take around 10 to 15 minutes depending on the size of each of the fields to get you all started, so please just be patient while we do that, but that helps a nice steady stream of runners and prevents you hitting any log jams out on the course if everyone starts at once. Apart from that, if there's any last minute changes, we will let you know. Otherwise, enjoy the last couple of days of tapewind and we'll see you bright and early on Saturday morning. Thanks very much.